sat there while Jack was talking to Swami and asking him questions. I sat there and I said, I'm with God. I'm with God. I'm with God. And Swami put this vibhuti, a big bunch of vibhuti in my hands, and I said to myself, what am I going to do with all of this? And Swami turned around and said, eat it. Swami brought us in for an interview, and Jack said, I'm worried about my son. And Swami whirled around and said, what, your son? He's mine.
Sai Baba devotee Louise Hawley and her husband Jack live half of each year in California, the other half at Sai Baba's ashram in India. This is Louise's story of her life's spiritual transformation. Welcome to Souljourns. This interview was recorded in Prasanthi Nilayam in 2004.
Yeah.
Well, I was raised to go into a lot of churches because my father sang. And I remember the one thing that was very important to me, I was 3 years old, and my sister, who was 5, took me to a Sunday school. And when I came back, Mother greeted us at the door, and she said, and what did you learn in Sunday school? Mm-hmm. And I said, God is love. And then, when I was 9 or 10, I was sitting on the living room floor, and I remembered saying to myself, God is here now on this earth, but he's in a far, far away place.
Oh.
But I said, but I'm going to live with God.
And you weren't thinking necessarily about the God from Jerusalem?
No, just God.
And before you go further, do you recall all those many years ago, after you gave that 3-word answer, your mother's reaction?
She loved me. I was raised with a mother that said, Weezy, that's my nickname. She said, always love everyone and everything and be happy.
Oh, wow.
And she'd always take me by the cheeks and she'd say, I love you, I love you, I love you.
How blessed. Boy, you did your karmic work early on to get somebody like that.
Yeah.
That comes along, in my estimation, I'm just going to say 1 in 1,000 mothers seem to have that sort of unlimited love.
She was wonderful.
Were you the same way as a mother to your many children?
I hope so. I think I raised them to be loving.
And there were more than a couple, weren't there?
There were 7.
Lots of opportunities.
Yes. And they're really wonderful. They're very happy. Very happy.
Well, between being a mother to those 7 children and the time you were 11, what else happened to inspire your spiritual growth, good or difficult?
Oh, I never looked. No, Jack is a seeker. He has to look and read and find out. And I never did that. I just let my life go. I remember going to a Catholic church with my friend, and she said, come and do exactly what I say. I said, okay. So I followed her, and she went to communion, and I went to communion. And then when I was 18 years old, I said to my mother, I'd like to become Catholic. And she said, well, she said, you have to have a head on your shoulders. So in about a year, I became Catholic.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything in particular, in addition to the ritual that you learned at your friend's beckoning, that made you feel like you wanted to actually convert? That's not a small step.
No, but I thought I loved the feeling. Mm-hmm. It was kind of, you always felt like you were in love with God.
Yeah. Tell me about when you did fall in love in a lasting way with the man who became your husband, Jack.
I was in college, and I had decided when I was in high school that men were a complete waste of time, and I'm never going to get married, thank you very much.
Glad you changed your mind.
And no, I didn't.
Oh.
And I said, when I was in college, I said, well, God, if you really want me to get married, you have to give me the wisest man. Mm-hmm. And he did. About a couple of weeks later, he walked across my path. I never talked to him. And I said to my sister, see that man over there? I'm going to marry him.
And was it love at first sight?
Love at first sight.
You didn't even say a word to him.
I didn't even say a word to him.
How'd you know?
Just knew.
This is way before Baba.
Way before Baba.
And obviously it turned out to be kind of okay.
Yeah, 47 years.
Wow. What's some of the 1 or 2 or 3 greatest lessons you've learned in 47 years of being with him?
Just love.
And we all have ups and downs. Baba's having a field day with us, I think.
I like it.
He's asking me to ask you some really tough questions. I'm kidding. We all have ups and downs, and in all those years, with such a family, such challenges in America, corporate world, commerce, culture swirling around you, how did you personally get through it all, as unscathed as you seem to be? And how did you get your husband and your children through it all?
Really, just love. You got through, let me see. I think I was always different. I was always loving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the secret. Swami's so simple.
And your original Swami seemed to be your mommy. She modeled it for
Right.
you.
That's right.
Unlike teaching it. She didn't
He
have to
wasn't.
browbeat you over the lessons. You just absorbed them, didn't
Right.
you?
Right.
Now, my view is that every child comes out of the womb with a different flavor and a different temperature. I was one of 6, and we were all very, very different. Even though you were a good model, modeling the love that you learned from your mother, was it as easy for you to pass on that loving trait to all 7 of yours?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because I'm sure they're all different from one another.
Oh yeah, there are ups and downs and crises and everything. But yes.
Yeah. I talked to you once before, and it seems to be a recurring factor among Baba people that even though the faith about Baba and the understanding and the affection for him is so huge, it doesn't always translate to next of kin, to children, to parents, to best friends.
No.
Have you ever put that together? You're so close to your kids, and presumably your kids are like my kids and lots of
I
other
don't
kids.
think I'm so close to my kids. They're very different people.
Okay.
They aren't spiritual except for one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing their own thing. And they're not interested.
Do they
At
have
all.
any critical feelings about your being here so much of the time?
Well, we've been here for 25 years. So it's part of our life and their life. And they will, when they have a crisis, they will always ask for vibhuti.
So it's sort of like the soldier in the foxhole, huh?
Right. And then if like 2 years ago I said to my son, I said, what should I ask Swami for you? And this is a son who was an alcoholic, and Swami saved him, and he was an alcoholic for 12 years at least, in the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
And he came here when Swami had a broken hip in '88, and Jack and I had written letters to Swami about it, saying what to do. Anyway, Swami brought us in for an interview, and Jack said, I'm worried about my son. And Swami whirled around and said, what, your son? He's mine. So, but he cured him of alcoholism, and I would say that he said 2 years ago to me, he said, just tell Swami to keep running my life.
Mm. So this kind of proves the notion, and I've been hearing stories this particular time here where Swami performs huge miracles in people's lives, literally saving their lives or getting them off of a serious addiction, without the individuals necessarily being Baba people.
Mm-hmm.
They almost don't have to be Baba people.
Right.
Is that karma, do you think, or is there some other explanation?
Oh, God works in funny ways.
You haven't figured them out yet?
And I don't want to figure it out. I just want it to happen.
That must touch your heart very deeply to hear your son say that.